Hey guys, how's it going? I just watched the Critters, a new Binge TV web series from Shudder, and I did do a video review on it. If you want to watch that, you can click up here. But I said I wanted to do a spoiler review because what happens at the end of the program is so crazy, right? So let's start. Where should we start? I don't know, around episode 5, his mother is sleeping with a delivery guy, right? This kid is very, he's one of the outcasts in school, doesn't really know why, he tries hard to sort of fit in, he really likes this girl. It's typical American teenage school drama. He comes home, his mum seems like a bit of a bitch, she's always on his case about eating, she calls him pork chop, which is probably not like the most complimentary name to give a guy struggling with his weight, and that's not me being critical because I'm nothing to look at, but they make it quite clear in the program that he's struggling with his weight. He wants to eat everything all the time, which is kind of the first clue they give you about what's going to happen towards the end. So oh my god, it's mental. So she's sleeping with this delivery guy who's a bit of a loser. You then find out later on that when the shit hits the fan and all these critters are here, he's actually a bounty hunter, and he morphs and shows her that he's a bounty hunter. And the only reason he was there was to keep an eye on the family and to see if the critters come along, which is kind of odd because spoilers. If you don't want to watch it, if you don't want to know, don't watch this video. And he's been sleeping, he's infiltrated their family. He's been sleeping with the mother to just keep an eye on the family, which is odd because he all of a sudden wants to kill Christopher, the teenager that's struggling with his weight, played by Joey Morgan. And he wants to kill him. So it's like he's been there for 3 weeks. His son's come and gone several times. And why doesn't he just kill him? Bounty hunters don't have emotions as we've seen in the TV, as we've seen in the film. So why did they make it so? I mean, he's halfway through, he says, well, he appeared to be normal. It's like, well, you should have just killed the kid. That's, that would have stopped this whole thing. So he turns out to be a bounty hunter, and the mum's quite shocked, like, oh my god, you're a bounty hunter. Was there nothing in it for us? Have you been like this the whole time? So later on, he seems to, it's almost like he's helping, but then you find out he wants to kill Christopher as well as all the Krites because he doesn't want the Krites to get hold of Christopher. You think that the Krites are after a Krite that's been left behind in a previous mission, but as it turns out, Christopher is the Krite. Christopher is who they're after, and they have Gilbert Godfrey playing his uncle, and he has this cage where he's feeding this animal, and you think, oh, he's got the critter, and which is quite funny, and he is Gilbert Godfrey. He sounds like Iago. He sounds like the same person he always sounds like, and he's a bit weird. He starts talking about his penis in front of his nephew and stuff. It's funny. So Gilbert gets killed. They find out that that's not the critter. He's keeping an owl or some bird of prey in this cage, and you find out that they're after Christopher. Now, Christopher, I can't say it. Years ago, Christopher's mum had sex with the president critter. Had sex, not like the critter in human form or artificially inseminated. She had sex with the critter. Which is just I said in the previous video that this film does not take itself seriously. So, this is why they've done it. So he has sex with the previous critter, and you're like, so Christopher is half critter, half human, but mainly looks human, right? That's quite odd. So when they go in a spaceship, they get captured by the critters, and they're in a spaceship at the end, and the president critter's there, and he's got a device that translates his voice into English for them to understand. He's some guy from the West Country playing his voice, and the president critter is there, and he's explaining to the mother and Christopher what and they're like, no, don't tell him. She's like, don't tell him, he's not ready for this yet. And the president is about to explain to Christopher what he is. And I was like, God, I recognise that guy's voice. You know, he's using this sort of translator thing to turn the critter's voice into a human understandable voice. And he's obviously picked the voice of Stephen Merchant, the West Country sounding chap, comedian that works for Ricky Gervais. So I was like, no way, man, it's definitely straight. I got on IMDb, it's Stephen Merchant, man, he's the President Critter. So that was quite funny. So he's kind of talking in like a farmery sort of West Country accent, and it's like he's explaining to him that you're actually a critter. Have you not understood why you want to eat so much all the time? And he's like, what? And he's like, what about your teeth? And all of a sudden Chris pulls out his teeth, and he's got like critter teeth, and he's like, oh, I was told I've got a strange condition, and whatever condition it is. And then he goes, well, what about your eyes? And then they sort of laser him and take away this whatever is making his eyes look normal. He's like, holy shit, my eye, and he's got red eyes. So basically, Chris is a human critter, and even though evolution doesn't really work that way, he is mainly human, but has some of the traits that make it obvious he's a critter. So he's got the teeth, he's got the eyes, and he's got the spikes, right? And I was thinking at this stage, I wonder, can he roll? Can he roll like a critter? And yes, he can. If you've seen the program, towards the end, they go back to rescue their friends, and Chris appears. He's got a cape on. Like, he put his own cape on because I think he thinks he's a superhero now. And they have this sort of like Meet the Feebles sort of style puppet, but it's basically Chris rolled up and his legs are up here and he's rolling. You hear this where the ground shaking. He rolls in, and then he started shooting spikes from his back. And oh man, it's wacky. But if you watch the original review I did, that's why I liked it. I thought it was a funny take on. I mean, none of the original films would have put a human woman having sex with a critter. I mean, that's like. I mean, I don't want to even go what that is compared to. But that is very odd, and it's too odd for a film. So again, I'd be very upset if this was an actual sequel to the films, but really it's just some person's sort of idea on a comedy horror. There's plenty of blood and guts in it, so it's kind of like their take on where the Critters universe is now. I don't think it has to be part of the original series, so don't get upset when you watch this film. Take it as it is. It's quite a laugh. It's quite a funny program, and it gets crazy. So I'm hoping you've watched the program before you see this review, because for me to tell you that she had sex with a critter is just crazy. Like, it's much better if they explain it to you, and they show you scenes of where they're like not mating, but like having the foreplay and kissing. She's sort of getting off with this critter, and it's just like, what? And it's Steve Merchant's voice, which is even funnier. So he rescues his friends and saves the day, and he's still got these teeth and red eyes and hairy back with the spikes in it. And somehow they sort of wrap it up by the girl that he likes sort of going on a date with him. Fair enough, maybe she's got a bit of a kink for spiky teeth. And I noticed that they're also calling his best friend Charlie, which is, maybe deliberate, because Brad's best friend, simple friend, we have to say, was Charlie in the original films. So I'm thinking like they've given Christopher his dumb Charlie friend. So, there's several elements that make the film fun. I say watch it, If you're not signed up to Shudder, there's really some good reasons to sign up to Shudder. They've got some really good films on there, as well as a lot of B films. Obviously, it's all horror, but there's stuff in there that, I've been watching horror films for years. I've been talking about them for years and years, hence why I do this channel. And there's stuff on there that I had never even heard of, which makes that fun. You think, you might find a little hidden gem in there. But I would say it's worth $5 or whatever it is a month, signing up to it, watching your Critters programs. If you could buy the disc for a $5 or buy the download for a $5, you would. So just do it for a month and watch the hell out of it. There's also a good Hellraiser documentary on there, The Leviathan. So, there's another reason for that $5 sign up. And if you're not happy after that, cancel it after a month. So, guys, as usual, thanks for watching. If you like my conversation pieces and my reviews, my interviews, and even if you just like sort of looking at me as, pointing fun, my bad hair, then subscribe.